G'day everyone, and welcome to this yoga flow for the hips and the legs. So we'll get started today on our backs. Feel free to make yourself as comfortable as you need to. You might have a pillow or a bolster underneath the knees, and you're welcome to bring a block or maybe a hard book underneath the head as well. And when you arrive, hands can be wherever feels comfortable. Maybe they're on your belly. A moment to land in the space as we start to let the outer world melt away. We tune into the inner world. You might notice areas of your body that are touching the earth here. The back of the feet, the calves, the hips, all the way up the length of your spine to the back of your head. And the mind might trace this outline from the crown of your head all the way around your body. This moment of awareness of where you are in space today. And we'll invite a long breath in through the nose, fill up the chest, fill up the belly. A long breath out, however you'd like. Another one just like that, long breath in. Let it go. We're here breathing gently at your own pace, your own rhythm. And I wonder if you can make your exhales just that little bit longer. So this conscious slowing down of the breath. Every time you exhale, you might imagine all of that air leaving your body in the sense of almost deflating. A few more rounds just like this. And as we move through this class together today, how might you move with the breath? So perhaps if you feel your mind is a little busy today, especially as we start to move, maybe you bring it all back to this moment here, this breath. Maybe that's your anchor. And we'll start to bring some movement into the body now, wiggle of the fingers and toes. Rocking of the head side to side. When you're ready for bigger movement, we'll take a bend in both knees. Both soles of the feet are on the earth. You might bring your hands down by your side now. We're going to take some windscreen wipers with our knees, so sending them over to the right, and sending them over to the left. Moving through these at your own pace. Maybe your pace looks like moving through honey today, this slow, languid movement. Or if you're after a little bit more fire, maybe you're moving through these quite quickly. One more breath here. Bring the knees back through center. Keep the right foot on the earth. Let's cross the left ankle over the right knee. We're coming into a figure 4 stretch. Here is where you might stay, just keeping that right foot planted, or perhaps you float the right foot off of the ground. You might take a hold of the back of the thigh or maybe the right knee. The movement's always welcome here. You might take a gentle rocking side to side. And let's draw a breath in. And we draw a breath out. We're here for one more long breath. And we let it go. Let that right foot float back down to the mat. We're coming into a half happy baby with this left foot. So we're going to bring that left knee toward the armpit. You might take a hold here of the outside edge of that left foot or maybe the left big toe. We're bringing that left knee down into the armpit space. Your right knee might stay as it is, or perhaps you turn it out toward the right hand side, coming into a half butterfly with that right leg. This might change sensation. And here you might be rocking side to side. Maybe stillness is what you're after. We're here for 2 long breaths. And we let that foot go, come back to the earth, both soles of the feet on the earth. We've just got the other side. So we're crossing that right ankle over the left knee, coming into our figure 4 stretch on this side. This might be enough, or maybe you float that left foot off of the ground, take a hold of the back of the thigh or the knee. And again, it might be some movement here. You might start to notice sensations in the glute, in the hip. Maybe as we've started movement, you're noticing areas of tension or areas of tightness, areas you might want to protect as we move through the rest of this class. Maybe the opposite of that. You might notice areas of ease and comfort, the areas you'd like to move toward. So one more breath here. And you let it go. Let that left foot float back down to the earth. We're coming into that half happy baby variation on this side. Taking a hold of the outside edge of that foot, bringing that knee down into the armpit space. Left knee might stay where it is, or we let it splay out to the left hand side, that half butterfly. And all the while, can we turn our attention back to the breath? Let's pull it in wide into the belly space. And we let it go. One more breath here. And we let it go. From here, we'll bring both knees to the chest, give them a squeeze. It might feel nice to rock side to side here on the lower back. And from this shape, we're making our way to a tabletop shape, so a 4-pointed kneeling shape. A couple of different options. You might just roll over to one side to get up there, or maybe you rock and roll along the spine and let momentum bring you up to your tabletop. When you arrive in your tabletop, a moment for exploration. Notice what feels good in your body. That might be hips moving side to side. That might be some cat-cow, so that rounding of the spine, tucking of the chin to your cat. Or that arching of the back, lifting of your chin to your cow. We're here for about 3 long breaths, so whatever feels nice, you might spread all 10 fingers as wide as you can. You might linger in spaces, and just noticing what feels good here. One more breath. And we'll float to a neutral spine. We're bringing that right foot out toward the right hand side of your mat. The right toes will be pointing toward the right hand side of the room that you're in. So your knee is open. I'll face forward so you can see what this looks like front on. And from here, we're bringing our right knee to our right elbow. Then we're opening back out. So that right knee to your right elbow. Opening back out. Nice. Moving through these at your own pace. I wonder how you can steady the hips while you do this. So instead of swiveling the hips, it becomes just this right femur, this right leg bone moving through all of this. Nice. The next time that your knee is open, let's sink the hips back. Just as far as feels comfortable here. And then we rise back up and we close the knee. Nice. So we open the knee out, we sink the hips back. Maybe the head bows down here. We float back up, we close the knee. We open it back out. We sink the hips. We float back up. One more, just like this. We open that hip. We sink down. We rise and close. Nice. We'll open that hip. From here, we're walking the hands toward the knees. We'll tuck the left toes. Raise all the way up, hands toward the sky here. A moment to wear your shoulders as earrings, really reaching the hands toward the sky. And that right elbow will come down onto the right knee and the left arm sweeps toward the right hand side of the room. We're coming into an extended side angle facing the right hand side of the room. There might be a little bit of a pulsing into the knee here, maybe a little up and down motion. And how can you really reach those fingers toward the right hand side of the room? Find space on that left side body. Let the breath roll in here. Let it roll out. Our hands will come back down to the earth. Let's extend that right leg out long. And from here, let's point the toes. We're going to make one long big line with the body from crown of the head all the way to the big toe, as long as you can be here. And then we cross that right knee over the left knee. We're coming into this bit of a crossed leg position, and we sink the hips as far back as feels comfortable. You might need to adjust your hands here, maybe walking them a little bit further. We're coming into a child's pose variation. Now this is very, very different to a normal child's pose because we're stacking our bones of our legs pretty much. So you might not be able to sink very far back. You might be like me, quite high up. And that's got really nothing to do with flexibility or anything like that. It's really to do with our bones and how they're positioned. Let's take a breath in. And let it all go. One more breath here. And we let it all go. Beautiful. We'll rise back up. Let's uncross the legs, extend that right leg long just once more, and then let it float back down to your tabletop. Let's sink the hips back, child's pose. And from your child's pose, let's bring our knees as wide as feels comfortable here. You might bring them as wide as your mat or even wider. And we'll sink the head and chest down to the earth. A moment for spaciousness. You might notice sensations on that inner thigh. Bringing the knees a little bit wider will change this shape quite a bit. Breath in here. And breath out. Beautiful. Let's come back up to our tabletop shape. We've got the other side. So knees come back in. And we step that left foot nice and wide of our mat. Left toes facing the left-hand side of the room. Hands are down on the earth. We've got those open and closes here. So we close the knee. Then we open the knee. Closing. And opening. Nice. Closing. And opening. And we'll start to incorporate those sit backs. So the next time that your knee is open, we sink the hips back. And your right toes can really do whatever they want. They might be tucked or they might be flat like mine are. We raise back up. We close the knee. We open the knee. And we sink the hips. We rise back up. We close. We open. And we sink. We rise back up and we close. We've got one more just like this. We open. We sink the hips. Rise back up. One more close here. Beautiful. Then we open out. From here we walk the hands back toward the knee, tuck the right toes, we come up nice and high, arms toward the sky. From here we reach where your shoulders is earrings, and then the left elbow will come down onto the left knee. That right arm reaches toward the left-hand side of the room this time. And really your gaze can be wherever here. It might be toward that top arm, or maybe it's hanging down toward the floor, whatever feels nice for the neck. Let's take a breath. And breath out. From here, we'll bring both hands down to the earth. We'll extend that left leg out nice and long. Point the toes, a long line all the way from crown of the head to the tip of the toes. Breath in. Breath out. We'll cross it over the right knee. And let's sink the hips back, that child's pose variation. And you'll notice with my shape here that I can't sink my hips too far back. It's just the way that my bones are positioned. So any cross leg variation for me is not a deep variation. It's just because my bones sit more outward than they do inward. So more externally than they do internally. And let's take a breath in. Long breath out. We rise back up to our tabletop. Extend that left leg long, that nice long point with the toe. Then both knees come down to the earth. We sink the head down, child's pose. We take a breath in here. A long breath out. From here, we'll walk our hands toward our knees. We'll kick the knees out to one side. We're coming down onto our back next. And when you come down onto your back, we'll bring the soles of the feet together and we'll splay both knees out toward either side of the room. We're coming into Baddha Konasana or butterfly. So from here, a couple of different variations. If you would like some support for your knees, you could pop a block or maybe a pillow underneath both knees. If you've got a bolster, you can thread the bolster underneath both knees. And if you're not using any props and you don't feel much stretch or much focus in the pelvis or the inner thigh area, you might bring your ankles onto a block instead. And so what this does is it gives your knees more room here to drop down. And the hands might be on the belly here. This moment here, noticing how it feels to arrive back in stillness here. You might bring the attention to the way your body feels after a little bit of movement. Maybe there are certain areas your mind is drifting to. You might notice the length of your spine on your mat, how nice it feels. And you might draw a long breath in here, a long breath out. Another long breath in, and long breath out. The invitation is to stay here for as long as you need. Your practice can really just stay here on the mat, any other shapes you'd like to take. If you're ready to close, we'll take a roll on over to one side. Slowly come up to a seat when you're ready. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. And I've got some seeds to plant for the week ahead. If you are someone who associates your yoga practice or your workout practice or whatever sort of movement it is with discipline, with the words like should, so for example, the pose should look like this, or I should make sure my workouts go for this period of time, or I have to look a certain way. I wonder if the seeds you plant this week, your practice looks more like devotion. So maybe that's giving yourself some kind words. Maybe when you're doing a pose and your body maybe doesn't feel right, it's maybe giving yourself the kind words of, okay, my body doesn't like that and that's okay. It doesn't have to look a certain way. Maybe it's giving yourself a little bit of sweetness, so a little smile as you practice. That might feel nice. What does devotion to practice look like instead of discipline? That's the seeds I'm planting this week. Until next time, see ya.